Hey guys, welcome to another episode of my YouTube channel. Can I just say thank you so much to those of you that have subscribed, that have left me feedback. I'm really loving sharing these longer format content pieces with you guys. So today I thought it'd be really cool to share with you my morning skincare routine. I get so many questions about my skin, what I'm currently using, so I thought I would go through the whole process, actually showcase. This is how you know that you guys and I are friends, because I've come to you barefaced with nothing on, because I really want you to see real skin, how my skin is, and what I currently use in my routine. Now, saying that, my routine, especially because of my job, changes constantly. I'm always trying different things, but one thing I will always say is that the ingredients and pretty much the kind of products that I use are pretty much the same. So for example, I always use like a vitamin C, I'll always use like a gentle cleanser. So just always keep that in mind. You don't have to use all the steps that I'm recommending. I just want to kind of show you as an example, and feel free to take inspiration from it and, you know, remix it in a way that you feel works for you. So a few things about my skin. I would say that I'm combination to oily. And the reason why I say that is because I tend to get quite shiny on my T-zone. This is my skin, pretty much with nothing on. One way that you can find out what your skin type is actually to do a test on your skin. So right after you come out the shower, when you've washed your face, leave your skin just to kind of sit for a bit. And then have a feel, touch, get at one with your skin and think, what am I seeing? What am I experiencing? If you feel that your skin is quite dry to touch or feels very tight, you probably have more of a normal to dry skin type. If you feel like after a couple of minutes, you're starting to see that oiliness coming through on your T-zone, then you're probably like me, have a combination to oily skin type. So these are kind of like key signs that you can see in your skin that can really give you clues as to what kind of skincare products to use and so forth. And you can be combination where you can have maybe dry cheeks, an oily T-zone. And I will always say that always notice any changes in your skin, because my skin definitely doesn't stay the same all year round. Especially now that we're getting into the warmer months, my skin will tend to be on the oilier side, but I definitely notice as I'm getting older, as the seasons change, maybe in winter, that my skin does tend to get a little bit drier. So again, be at one with your skin, have a feel, have a touch, see those notable changes and signs that you can see any changes in your skin, and kind of go from there. So enough of me yapping. I will be showing you as I'm going through my routine, but also giving you different variations from each category. Depending on your budget, there's so many different options that I wanted to share with you guys. So I've really thought about everything, and I've really thought about you whilst I've been doing this. Okay, so the first step, which is one of the most important steps, and I think we don't do this enough, is cleansing. So step one is cleansing, a really important step. And I would say take your cleansing routine very seriously, because that is going to be the foundation of how your other products are going to work. Think of it like this: if you still have last night's makeup on your skin, if your skin is still feeling quite oily or just hasn't been thoroughly cleansed, it means that all the other products that you're going to layer on top is not going to sit really well on your skin. So it's really important to make sure that you're cleansing effectively. And also, this is a very good question I'm going to ask you guys. Be honest, we're friends here. How long do you actually spend cleansing your skin? I'd love to know. Put it in the comment section below. Are you someone that just cleanses really quickly for like 20 seconds? Do you leave your cleanser on? The actual thing that you should be doing is leaving your cleanser on your skin and really working it into your skin for at least 60 seconds. I know that sounds like a long time, but honestly, it will make a massive difference to how your skin looks and feels, especially if you're prone to breakouts, if you wear makeup, you're a heavy makeup wearer, or if you're wearing SPF every single day like you should be spending at least a minute cleansing your skin. So that means really working it into certain areas. For example, if you're oily on your T-zone, really work that into the skin, around the cheek areas if you have any breakouts or things like that. So I've got 3 ones here that I want to talk to you about. The first one is a CeraVe one, which is actually a new one, which I've just started using, which is called the Balancing Air Foam Cleanser. Such a great one. What I really love about CeraVe is that a lot of their cleansers or a lot of their skincare products always have ceramides in there to really help support your skin's barrier. And no matter what your skin type is, you always want to make sure that your cleansers or products that you're using isn't going to compromise or strip your skin barrier. You don't want to be using things that are going to dry your skin out, because in turn you're going to actually cause your skin to produce more oil. You're going to get quite shiny. It's all about balance. So that's what I really love about this one. So here you've got one of their technologies called glycosine, which is really good for giving you that thorough cleanse but really looking after your skin at the same time. You've got ceramide in there as well, and allotonin, all to help calm, soothe, and really keep your skin barrier intact whilst you're cleansing. So what I love about this is that you don't get that stripped, tight feeling. I know some of you love that, but we don't want to do that around here. We want to keep our skin really nice and balanced. So that's really, really key. Another one of my personal favorites, which I'm going to use with you guys today, is the Kate Somerville Goat Milk Cleanser. OG cleanser, such a beautiful formula. Again, it's slightly good if you're more on the drier side, but I think for me, I'd rather use a cleanser that's not too stripping and not too drying, that actually nourishes my skin. And what I love about this is that it's actually quite a moisturizing cleanser. You've got your goat milk in there, which is very soothing and calming. You've got honey in there, really lovely ingredients. It smells so good. Not that you should be using a product because of how it smells, but it's really, really soothing at the same time. And I love that my skin doesn't feel stripped after I've used it. And then last but not least, one of my other favorite cleansers is the cleansing complex from Is Clinical. This is a fantastic cleanser. Again, if you're more of a normal to combination or oilier skin, you probably will really love this. The consistency is so lovely. It's kind of like a light gel. You can see that there, and it just like resurfaces the skin. So you've got in there some really nice light exfoliant. So if you are prone to breakouts, or if you feel that your sort of like pores are quite clogged up, it's a really fantastic cleanser to go for. Again, it foams up really nicely. It doesn't strip your skin, and it's a really great way to kind of cleanse your skin without stripping. Okay, so let's start off. I'm gonna go in with the goat milk cleanser, and like I was saying to you earlier, you really want to spend quite a bit of time, a decent amount of time, cleansing your skin. So I'm going to go in with the Kate Somerville Goat Milk Cleanser, which is one of my absolute favorites. I'm going to add a little bit of water to this, and we're going to start to kind of cleanse the skin. And it's so important that when you are cleansing the skin, you're really working the cleanser in. It's also a really great time just to kind of like practice a bit of self-care. One of the things I like to do is if I am cleansing in the shower, which I don't really tend to do a lot, I tend to kind of do my cleansing routine separately, which is really important because sometimes, and if you're anything like me, I like my showers really, really hot. I know it's not the best thing to do, but you don't want to use anything like that on your actual face. So what I will probably tend to do is brush my teeth, wash my face, then get into the shower, and then obviously cleanse my body. So what I would say is maybe do your cleansing routine outside in the morning of your shower. If you are going to do it in your shower, then one thing that you can do is whilst you're washing your body, you can actually leave your cleanser on your skin to sit for about a minute after you've wet it in. That way you get the real benefits. But it's just so important that you're really cleansing your skin effectively. And I always love to use more of like a face wash or a foaming cleanser in the morning, and then things like, you know, a cleansing balm or cleansing oil at night time, because that's when I've normally worn my makeup throughout the day and I need something to really kind of melt it all off. So I'm going to wash this off and then I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so we've done the cleansing. This is how my skin looks and feels afterwards. And the key thing to remember is that my skin doesn't feel tight or dry. It just feels very comfortable, very balanced, which is what you're looking for after you've cleansed your skin. If it's feeling tight or dry, it probably means that you need to switch up your cleanser or look for something that's a little bit more balancing and has a bit more of a nourishing benefit. Okay, next up, we're gonna go into hydration. Now, this isn't a step that you have to do, but it's a personal favorite of mine. I think it's very important to layer your hydration into your routine because especially if you're gonna be layering things like serums, other products, I find that when my skin is hydrated, those products are able to kind of penetrate into my skin a bit better and give me better results. That's what we really, really want from our skincare. So we're gonna go in and layer some hydration. I've got 3 here that I really, really love. The first one is from Fresh Beauty. This is the kombucha essence. Oh, I love this stuff so much. Now, I'm actually gonna use this one because it's one of my absolute favorites. Now, anything like this, please don't waste it on a cotton pad. You really want to get all that goodness straight onto your skin, directly onto your skin. And the reason why I love the kombucha essence is because it's a really beautiful treatment. It helps prepare your skin for your next step. and it's also super hydrating. It's packed full of antioxidants. We're going to be talking a lot about antioxidants in the next couple of stages. They're my favorite sort of part of my morning skincare routine because it's all about protection. When you think about it, the minute you step outside of the house, your skin is under attack. There's so many different elements that are coming to attack your skin and causing that aging process. So things like pollution, smoke, the sun, all of these things can really have a massive effect on your skin. And so what you want to do is have products that have that antioxidant benefit to really protect your skin. And that's what I love about the kombucha essence. You've got some great ingredients in there, obviously kombucha, really good antioxidants to help protect your skin, but also great for hydration. And the way that I like to use it is to warm it up in between my hands and then just press it into my skin. And my skin literally just soaks it up. Another thing that's very important is I always take my skincare down onto my neck. The neck is usually the area that you see the first signs of aging. So you really want to make sure that you're taking a lot of care around the neck area. Especially because, you know, involuntarily we're using our neck all the time. You're moving it around. And so it is a very thin, delicate area. So make sure you're really kind of giving it a bit of TLC and looking after it at the same time. I wanted to kind of give some honorable mentions to other products that I love as part of this sort of hydration step. The Rhode, this is the glazing milk. Oh, if you haven't tried this, it's so good. I'm sure you've seen all the buzz around Rhode at the moment and how they've been acquired by Elf Beauty, which is amazing because one of the things that's a bit of a bugbear about having and getting Rhode products is that it's so hard to get. But I'm hoping now that it's been acquired by a bigger brand, you know, we're going to see it being a bit more accessible because at the moment the shipping cost is massive put off for me. But I love this. I was kindly gifted it. The great thing about this is that it's super hydrating. It's a lightweight sort of preparatory product, packed full of ceramides to really help plump and hydrate the skin and keep the skin nice and glowing. And you can really see that gorgeous glow there. So if you haven't tried it, if you feel like your skin's quite dry or irritated, maybe you've overdone it with the acids and you really want something to kind of soothe and nourish the skin, the glazing milk is fantastic. And then I actually purchased this the other day. It is a new product from the Inky list. It's called the Hydro Surge Dewy Face Mist. Not gonna lie, I saw the word dewy in this and I was like, this is a bit of me. It's a really great product to help boost hydration. You can layer it in between your skincare steps just to give you that plump, hydrated feeling. And it's also really good to help with barrier support. I don't know if you've noticed it by now, but I've probably said barrier support a million times by now, but it's because it's so important. No matter what your skin type is, it's so important to make sure that you're looking after your skin's barrier because that's going to be the overall health and function of your skin and keeping it intact. So what's beautiful about this is that you can just layer it in and just spritz it to keep your skin hydrated. And I feel like you can use this at any stage of your routine. Even if you are wearing your makeup, maybe you put your makeup on at the end and you want something to kind of really make it look nice and fresh and hydrated. It's a really beautiful product. And again, I love the Inky list because of its price point as well. So I really want to kind of shout those products out and share those with you. But that is the second step, which is the hydration. You can probably tell how happy I am about this stage. So stage 3 is all about my antioxidants. So every morning without fail, I will use some form of antioxidant. My sort of antioxidant of choice is vitamin C. I love vitamin C. I think it's a fantastic way to help even out your skin, brighten. There's so many different benefits to using vitamin C in your skincare routine. I know that it's not for everybody. Some people have other antioxidants they prefer, and that's absolutely fine. But I do feel like regardless of your skincare routine or your skin type, everyone should be using one or other form of antioxidant just to kind of protect your skin against the elements. I love to use antioxidants every morning, again, just to kind of even out my skin. So I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but some of my main concerns are any pigmentation, especially with me having black skin. Even if I get a spot or, you know, I'm not a picker, I'm not somebody that kind of, you know, goes up my skin. I'm very careful at making sure that I'm protecting my skin and ensuring that I'm not causing that excess production of melanin that can cause things like hyperpigmentation because it's so difficult to treat. So what's great about having a vitamin C in your routine is that it really helps to sort of inhibit that that overproduction of melanin, protecting your skin and ensuring that anything like, for example, dark spots or any sort of marks that you might get aren't going to be made to look worse if you have them already, but also they're not going to kind of, create even more of them. So I really love using them in my routine. One of my personal favorites, and the one that I'm currently using, is the one that we all know and love, which is the C Ferulic from SkinCeuticals. So this, I would say, is probably one of the OG, in fact, it was the OG vitamin C. And I believe it's turning 20 years old this year, which is incredible. And I remember I would always read like beauty editors' recommendations, makeup artists, and when they were talking about skincare, no word of a lie, at least 60 to 70% of them would always reference SkinCeuticals C Ferulic, because it really is that product. It is expensive and it is one of those kind of, you get what you pay for. But one thing about vitamin C is that if you are using it in high dosages, normally between 15 to 20%, you do find that the formulations aren't very stable. And one of the reasons why I love the SkinCeuticals is that you can use the whole bottle and it's not going to oxidize or change color, and you're still going to get that real efficacy, which is so important, because sometimes you can use a vitamin C and before you even got into half of the bottle, it's gone off and you're not able to use it. And the way that they've made sure that the formula stays stable is because they've kept the bottle dark. You want to keep it in a cool place and you don't want to keep it in direct sunlight. So what's really loving here is that you've got ascorbic acid, which is obviously the vitamin C at 15%. You've got ferulic acid, which is a great antioxidant just to help prevent the formation of dark marks, helping to brighten the skin and give you that even glow. And you can see that already. And I wouldn't say that my skin is perfect, but I do see a massive difference with the regular use of an antioxidant. I also wanted to shout out a few other options in different price points, because I do obviously appreciate this is quite an expensive product. I mean, this is around £165 for one bottle of this. A relatively new version that Medik8 has launched is the C Tetra Advance. Now, I really love this because it's actually made and formulated for those that have really struggled to use vitamin C in the past and have found them quite irritating. What's great about this is that it actually has phytoexosomes. Now, exosomes is a really big buzzword at the moment. It's kind of like, back in the day, there were certain ingredients that everyone spoke about. I feel like exosomes are having a real moment, and they're really good and they're utilized a lot when you're having sort of facial treatments. If you've had microneedling or any other facial treatment or rejuvenation for the skin, you'll probably find that your facialist or your esthetician will then recommend that you use after the treatment exosomes. And what they are, they're kind of like very tiny sort of little messengers that really help to kind of signal to your skin to help repair and stimulate sort of collagen production and boost that radiance in your skin. So I love they've actually utilized that in this formula. And I actually really feel like it's very similar to the formula of Sunday Riley's vitamin C, which is one of my favorites as well. So if you are finding in the past that when you've used vitamin C's, they're really sort of irritating to the skin and you want something that's a little bit more soothing and calming and has some great sort of repairing and soothing ingredients in it, I love how well formulated this is. You still get that high sort of vitamin C content in there, but you've also got those exosomes to help repair and soothe the skin so it's not as irritating. And I love it. The C Tetra Luxe, which is the original formula, is a beautiful formulation, but I love that you've got another option now. And again, I mean, look at that glow. It's amazing. Another one that I really love is this one from the Body Shop. This is the Glow Revealing Serum. Again, this is a 10% vitamin C. Great if you're more on a sensitive skin and you're looking for something a little bit more affordable. I love this. And the formula is beautiful. It's got this really sort of luxury feeling to it. It's quite lightweight and it's so lovely to give you that beautiful glow. And then another one that I recently purchased, which I was really, really intrigued by, is this one from e.l.f. Skin. Now, this is actually meant to be not necessarily a dupe, but an inspired by version of the SkinCeuticals C Ferulic. So one of the reasons why this was quite expensive for so long is because there was a patent on it. So other brands weren't able to kind of use the same formulation and the same ingredients in the same way that SkinCeuticals was. And I believe that that patent has recently been lifted. So you're going to be seeing a lot more affordable brands bringing out their versions of the SkinCeuticals C Ferulic, which I think is really cool because not everyone can afford it. It just kind of makes the playing field a little bit more level for everybody. And I've tried this on my hand. It actually feels amazing. It's got the same kind of consistency as SkinCeuticals C Ferulic, that really lovely glow, that radiance to the skin. And you've got in there that 15% vitamin C, the same as the SkinCeuticals. You've got vitamin E and you've got the ferulic acid. So it's pretty much a great sort of version of the SkinCeuticals. I will still love this one and use this one, but I thought it'd be really good to kind of mention that for those of you that feel like this is a little bit too expensive. Next, we're going to go into treatment for the eyes and the lips. Again, very important stages of your skincare routine. And I feel like because the eye area and the lip area are really, really delicate, it is important to use products that are targeted for those specific areas, i.e. a lip balm and an eye cream. Now, I'm currently using this one from SkinCeuticals. This is the AGE Advanced Eye Cream. Really good to help with darkness that you might experience under the eye. And the reason why I'm always talking about using products specifically for those areas is because your under eye area is 10 times thinner than the rest of your face. So the reason why I think it's important to use products in different ways for different areas is because they have different requirements. So for example, I wouldn't use a rich, nourishing body butter on my face. Different areas of skin, they have different needs. So it's important to use products that are targeted for the eye area and for the lip area. The eye area is 10 times thinner than the rest of the face, it's a lot more delicate. And so there's certain things and products that you can use specifically targeted for that eye area. So I'm using this beautiful eye cream from SkinCeuticals. Again, really helping with any concerns that you might have, any dryness, crepiness, dark circles. These are all the kind of main concerns that most people have around the eye. And I think it's so important because also for me, I'm someone that wears makeup. It's so important to prep the skin accordingly so that my makeup sits beautifully. So I always recommend an eye cream. I'd love to know if you guys will use eye cream. Some people feel like it's not necessary. I think it is necessary because I think it's important to have products specifically for those areas. And then I can't be without lips. At the moment, my lips are literally screaming at me because I haven't got anything on, so I have to put something on my lip. My current favorite is the Tatcha lip balm. Now, this is actually a lip mask, which you can use at night time, but I actually like to use it in the day when I'm prepping my skin before I put my makeup on. And it just sits into the skin beautifully. It helps with any of those fine lines that you might experience in your lips. It helps to kind of plump your lips, to make them really nice and smooth. And I love to use it as kind of like a primer to prep my lips. If I'm going to be wearing a lipstick later on, I leave it to sit on my skin whilst I'm doing my makeup. If I have any excess, I'll just get a bit of a tissue and just towel it off. And then my lips just feel really nice and amazing and are really beautifully prepped, ready for my lip application. So the next step that we're going to go into, and again, this is an optional step, but I love to utilize it, is using peptides. Now, I'm in my mid-30s, and this is the kind of time when you find that your collagen production slows down or your bank of collagen in your skin starts to deplete rapidly. And so you want to use products that are going to help to stimulate collagen production and also just keep your skin looking nice and plump. And so I love to use peptides. My current favorite and the product that I'm absolutely loving and I can't be without is Antioxidant from SkinCeuticals. Now, the great thing about peptides is that they're really, really good at helping to keep your skin look more youthful, to give you that sort of plump feel. And the great thing about sort of peptides is that they really help to kind of signal to your skin to produce more collagen. So it's really good for producing and stimulating collagen production. And again, if you're finding that, especially in your mid-30s, you're finding that your skin isn't as firm as you want it to be, or you really want to maintain that youthfulness to your skin and that glow, definitely look at incorporating peptides into your routine. Again, it's not for everybody, but I personally feel like I've seen a massive difference with the daily inclusion of peptides in my skincare routine. My skin feels tighter, more plump, and it's a really good way to kind of really ensure that if you are somebody that's on a journey for having things like injectables, things like Botox, these are really great to help support that. And that's why I love to use products that really, really help to support any of my sort of in-clinic treatments. Another one that's also very, very good is the liquid peptides from Medicate. This one's great. Again, it's a wrinkle reducing serum. And again, if you are someone that's concerned with fine lines and wrinkles, for me, it's not really a major concern. I think it's more about prevention for me. So if you are looking to prevent, this is a fantastic one. It's also really good because it has growth factors and peptides. So one thing I really love about Medicate is that they've got really beautiful, well-formulated products. They're not just single ingredient products. You have things like, for example, if they've got a vitamin C, like I previously showed you, they've got exosomes in there. So you get that sort of 360 approach. Here you've got the peptides, you've got the growth factors, and all those really amazing things to help your skin look and feel amazing. Okay, we're nearly coming to the end, guys. Hang tight. Thank you for hanging in there with me. So again, if you are someone that's combination to oil like myself, you might feel like you don't always want to do a moisturizing step. You might feel like the sunscreen that you're going to be using at the end is enough of that hydration for you. And to be fair, if you've done the other steps that I've talked about previously, you may not need a moisturizer. But for me personally, I think it's important because it's kind of like that final step. And I also like to use my moisturizer as a priming base before my makeup. We've spoken about this before, but I feel like anything that you use to help hydrate your skin and plump your skin is essentially a primer to prime your skin for the next step. So I've got 3 here that I'm really, really loving. This one is fantastic from SkinCeuticals. This is the Phyto Brightening Treatment. The reason why I really like this one is that it's really good to help with that hyperpigmentation that I'm really trying to kind of combat. It keeps my skin looking really nice and even. You've got arbutin in here and you've got azelaic acid. These are really good tyrosine inhibitors that essentially mean that they're not going to kind of stop wholeheartedly, but they're going to help to kind of slow down that overproduction of melanin, helping to keep your skin looking nice and even. If you've got any dark marks and hyperpigmentation, it's actually going to help to reduce the appearance of those and kind of prevent the formation of any further dark marks that might happen. This is a really good lightweight gel moisturizer that I love to use, especially for myself where I don't want to use anything too heavy. My personal favorite and the one that I'm really loving at the moment is the Pro Collagen Peptide Moisturizer from Paula's Choice. I love this one. And the reason why I like it is that it's a really lovely light gel formulation. I'm just going to smooth that onto my skin. Honestly, the way that this makes my skin glow is insane. It's super lightweight, doesn't feel too heavy, and again, just gives my skin that really lovely, refreshing feeling. And it also has one of my favorite ingredients that we spoke about previously, peptides. So it's going to really help to plump the skin and give me that gorgeous glow. So I really love this. And I just love how lightweight it is, especially if you're someone like me that is combination to oily. You don't want to use anything too rich. So it's very important that depending on your skin type, you're using the right moisturizer for you. And last but not least, if you're someone that really wants that radiance and that glow, The Body Shop also have a vitamin C moisturizer, which is beautiful. Again, it's super lightweight, not too rich, and it's that gorgeous sort of vitamin C based moisturizing to help hydrate the skin, but also boost that radiance in your skin at the same time. I highly recommend this one. And then finally, I would say probably the most important step in your routine and the one that I will never ever skip on is your sunscreen. Now, the reason why I feel like sunscreen is so important is that if anyone always says to me, how do I keep my skin looking nice and even? What am I really going to do to help treat my hyperpigmentation? Then my advice would always be to invest in your sunscreen. If there's one thing that you must be doing to religiously help your skin is using an SPF every single day. So it's so funny because I get people that will message me and they're like, I really want to treat hyperpigmentation. I really want my skin to look flawless and even. And I'll say to them, are you using sunscreen every single day? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, that is the first step. If you're not doing that, you might as well just discount the rest of the skincare routine. There's no point in spending loads of money on your serums, your vitamin C's, your cleansers if you're not using sunscreen every single day. Now, because I'm a deeper skin tone, I tend to prefer using chemical sunscreens like these ones here, and that's because they typically don't tend to leave a white cast on the skin. And that's so important because you don't want to use all of your beautiful products, make your skin look really nice and glowy and fresh and radiant, and then you just go in and there's nothing worse than when you go in with your sunscreen and you end up looking like Casper the Friendly Ghost. We don't want that around here. So invest in your sunscreen. I've got 3 here that I'm really, really loving. The first one is a new launch from La Roche-Posay. They're normally my go-to for sunscreens. I feel like they've got a really good range of sunscreens for everybody, depending on what your preference is, and that's what I really love. And the key thing that I always recommend to people is just find a sunscreen that you love. There's no point in using something that you're not going to enjoy using, and I feel like with a step that's as important as sunscreen, you want to do it every single day. So it means that you have to invest in a sunscreen that you're going to actually find enjoyable to use. That basically means that it can't leave that white cast on the skin. It actually makes your skin look good and it feels good. It feels lightweight. So this one I really love. It's a very lightweight sunscreen. I'm literally coming to the end of it. That's how you know how much I've loved it. And it literally just blends into the skin beautifully. I mean, look at that. You can literally just see how it just goes in, doesn't leave a cast on the skin, and just gives you that nice hydrated glow. It's also broad spectrum. This is very important. So you really want to use a sunscreen that protects you against UVA and UVB rays. So the sun emits 2 different types of rays mainly. UVA are the rays that are kind of more susceptible to giving you that more aged look to the skin. And then the UVB are the rays that obviously burn the skin. Obviously you want to protect your skin against both, so really make sure that you're looking for sunscreens that protect you against UVA and UVB damage. That definitely is the case with this one. And they normally have like their 4-star or 5-star rating. Again, you want to make sure you want to look at that. I always tend to use, no matter what the day is, whether it's cloudy or whether it's sunny, an SPF 50. I know some people are like, why do I need to use SPF 50? We're in the UK. I just feel like if you're going to be wearing sunscreen, you want to get the best and the most protection that you can possibly get. So I always wear SPF 50. But actually, if you were to use SPF 30, there's not really much difference in terms of the protection time that you get between the two. I think it's literally like 2% difference between SPF 30 and SPF 50, but I always tend to just go with SPF 50. Another one I'm absolutely loving, and this is the one I'm going to use now, is this Olay one. Now this is the Brighten and Glow Vitamin C. This is actually really good because it's actually marketed as a moisturizer. So it's a 3-in-1. It's your sunscreen, your moisturizer, and it hydrates your skin at the same time. And I love this because it's super lightweight. It blends into the skin, and you can just see how it just goes in so nicely. Like you can't even feel it on the skin. And so if you are wanting to kind of skip a moisturizer, you just want that one and done product, this is amazing. And it just goes in like a dream. It smells lovely. You've got some great brightening, hydrating ingredients in there. Obviously you've got your vitamin C. I believe you've got vitamin B5, which is again a very nourishing, hydrating sort of vitamin in there. And it's just a really good way to kind of protect the skin. One thing to always mention and note is that you want to be making sure that you're getting the required protection for your skin. So I'm actually going to show you the amount that you should be applying on your skin. So that would say, that first bit that I applied, I'd probably say is 1 finger's worth. But let me show you how much you should be applying. So they say at least 2 full fingers worth. That's how much you should be applying all over your face. So yeah, we really make sure that you're protecting your neck as well. That is so important. Taking that all the way down and really smoothing it into the skin. And at the end, you should have a really nice, hydrated, smooth, prep skin ready for makeup application. And lastly is this one from L'Oreal. This is the Revitalift Clinical Fluid. Again, I really love this because it's super lightweight and it just goes into the skin beautifully. Doesn't leave that white cast and just blends into the skin for a really beautiful finish. And that's it. That's how my skin looks after I applied the sunscreen. And it just looks and feels amazing. Ready for me to take on the day if I'm not wearing any makeup, but also a really beautiful hydrated canvas ready for makeup application. So that's it, guys. I've taken you through my full morning skincare routine, including the ingredients and products that I tend to use every morning. I hope you found that really, really helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below in the comment section and I'll be in the comments ready to answer your questions. But I really want to show you my routine, but also give you other recommendations depending on your budget or what you're looking for or what your skin concerns are. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon on the next video. Bye.